Trust your gut. The gut always knows the truth. How many times have you heard that, received this advice? Well, in today's video, I'm going to reveal why trust your gut can be terrible advice and what you can do instead. You've probably had gut feelings about somebody you dated. Maybe you broke up with him because your gut told you that he wasn't a good fit for you. But what if he really was a good match and your so-called gut was wrong? So let's explore what exactly are gut feelings, when should we trust them, and when what we're feeling is actually something else. What's a gut feeling? A gut feeling is an inner knowing. It's the wisest part of us that knows when something is good or not good. It's called a gut feeling because it usually starts in our gut in the form of a fluttering like butterflies when you really like somebody, or warmth when you feel really good around somebody. It can also show up as a tightening of the chest or goosebumps. Our gut feeling comes from aligning with our truth, with our core values, and its purpose is to help us be true to ourselves and make good decisions from a place of love and not fear. What are some signs of a gut feeling? You're going to feel a sense of calm. It's instant and it's fluid. It feels definitive. You don't overanalyze it. It feels right and simple. It feels loving, supportive, and expansive, and it feels present. Can you always trust your gut? Unfortunately, no, because sometimes it's not a gut feeling at all. It could be a trigger. What are triggers? Triggers are a sensation in our bodies that come from fear, from self-protection, and from past pain and trauma. There are internal and external triggers. Here's some internal triggers. These come from inside of us in the form of a memory or a physical sensation or an emotion. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're on a treadmill, you're going really fast, and your heart starts beating really quickly. It might remind you of a time when you were running away from an abusive partner. Then you get an immediate feeling in your body, and that's an internal trigger. The past experience returns in the present as a sensation in your body, and it tells you, run away. Right? So it brings back this memory of running away from an abusive partner, and all of a sudden you might have a panic attack. Or when someone you're dating doesn't text you for a day or two, it might remind you of a feeling of abandonment when your father left when you were young. So that trigger happens. It's really a fear of abandonment from your past. Has nothing to do with the guy that you're dating. Common feelings and memories that can lead to internal triggers are anger, anxiety, overwhelm, feeling really vulnerable, feeling abandoned, feeling out of control, some memories that are tied to a traumatic event, pain, and sadness. There are also external triggers. These come from the environment and can be a person, place, or a specific situation. For example, you probably have all heard about war veterans who hear fireworks like on the 4th of July in America, and it reminds them of the guns during the war. Their bodies actually feel like they're in a war, and they can become super anxious and sweaty and go into complete shutdown. Some common things that could cause a person to feel externally triggered are watching a movie or a show or reading an article that reminds you of a traumatic experience that you once had. It could also be from a person who's connected to a difficult experience, like let's say a sibling where there was trauma in your relationship, or a parent. When you argue, it can bring you back to a time when you argued with an ex-partner and bring you back to that feeling of, oh my God, I'm going to die, or I'm going to be left or abandoned, so you shut down. It could be tied to a specific time of day. Let's say at noon every day something happened when you were a child, and then at that time every day you get that immediate feeling of whatever it was from your past. It could also be a sound or a smell that reminds you of an experience. Most of us have smells that smell is one of the strongest memories. And so if there's a smell like something burning, that could be a reminder that you were once in a fire. And it could make you shut down and be really scared, even though the fire isn't happening now. Also, when a relationship changes or ends, it could be a trigger. Significant dates like holidays or anniversaries, especially if there's a loss, and a location that reminds you of an experience. When we react to a trigger, we can feel it in our bodies. So it's really important to become aware of the signs of a trigger, such as changes in your breathing or your heart rate, so you can know how to calm yourself and shift your emotional state. And there are many ways to calm yourself. A lot of it has to do with breathing. I just heard a really good method, which is 2 quick breaths in through your nose and a slow breath out. So it could look like, and if you do that several times, you can really bring yourself back to center and really get clear, this is a trigger. So when you detach yourself from that trigger and get back to center and use one of these good coping strategies, then you'll be able to think clearly and you'll be able to tell the difference between the inner knowing of your brilliant intuition, that really gut feeling, and whether it's a trigger that could be trying to protect you, but really have nothing to do with what's best for you right now. So if you're dating somebody and something feels off, it could be your gut trying to keep you safe because this person really isn't good for you. Or it could be your mind trying to find what's wrong, which is a confirmation bias. What's wrong with this person based on a trigger from your past that has nothing to do with the person you're with. When in doubt, get centered, ask questions, get curious. Once you have more information, you can make a better decision about your next steps. Knowing the difference between a gut feeling and a trigger could help you get closer to the people you like and further away from the people who are truly not right for you. Let me know if you've ever confused a trigger for your gut feeling, if your gut feeling has been wrong in the past, and what are your takeaways from today's video. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.